hoop at GCU, man. We hoop at GCU.
Lopes fans, welcome in. My name is Brennan Williams, and this is Go Lopes Radio. Today we have the second episode of our Behind the Program series. In case you missed episode 1, we sat down with GCU assistant coach Mark Rogers. We talked all things recruiting, player development in the offseason, cohesion and building a roster. He even gave us a quick scout on some of the guys, especially a lot of the newcomers. Some really, really good tidbits from Coach Mark Rogers, so we appreciate him. But when it comes to episode 2, we are sitting down with someone who truly is behind the scenes. You see the players out on the court, always in incredible shape. You never look at a player and say, man, I wish he was a little bit stronger, or I wish he had better cardio. The players are always ready to go. And that comes back to one guy. They call him Coach Jack, Jordan Jackson, the strength and conditioning coach for men's basketball. We sat down with him to just talk about what it looks like to kind of take care of Division I athletes. We know they're a little bit different than your average Joes, and when it comes to training them, things can look a little bit differently. So he breaks a lot of that down. He even goes through a former GCU player and talks through a workout plan. And, he even gave us some professional opinions on some of the best kind of raw athletes he's seen in his time as a coach. He's had a few different stops. Obviously, GCU is most recent, and he's had a ton of success. And I think he's been a really big piece of what GCU's been able to build. Again, one thing that really stands out with every GCU team, I previously used to sit behind the bench, and you could just see how physically imposing a lot of the players are. And a lot of that credit goes to Coach Jordan Jackson. So you get to hear a little bit about his story, and especially some of the work that he does so that the guys are always ready to go. So really, really awesome conversation. And once again, we thank Coach Jack for his time. So let's head over to that conversation now with GCU strength and conditioning coach Jordan Jackson. Hey guys, welcome in. Today we are joined by Jordan Jackson, or Coach Jack, if you will, Grand Canyon University men's basketball strength and conditioning coach. Coach, how are we doing this morning?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So I want to dive into a lot of the specific things you do. Before we get there, let's establish some bona fides. I want to know a little bit about you, where you grew up, school you went to, and then when did you know kind of sports performance was the thing you wanted to do?
Yeah, well, I'm originally from Philadelphia, so I was born in Philadelphia. My strength and conditioning, man, like I fell into strength and conditioning, like I really did. I went to Temple University in Philly. I failed out of school there, so I went to Delaware State first, trying to play ball. Okay. I went to a branch campus of Penn State Altoona to try to play ball. And then I ended up just going to Temple after that. My basketball didn't work out for me, so I ended up just going to Temple as a student. Was there for 3 years, and then I failed out of school. So was never great with school when I was younger. And I think going back to Philly, going back home, kind of wasn't the smartest thing for me to do either when I was 19 years old. But I failed out of school and I ended up going to the military, man. So I went to the Navy I was in the Navy for 4 years. So I did 2 years in Nevada, and I did 2 years right outside of Saudi Arabia and Bahrain. When I was out there, man, it wasn't too much to do but kind of work out, you know what I mean? So I really got into fitness. I was doing more just lifting weights my first 2 years. I had a guy that was from like Nigeria, man, that just was all here. So yeah. He kind of got me like into lifting weights. And then when I got into the Middle East, man, like I had ended up putting a little too much size on for myself. Okay. So I got there and I just worked some weight off, and I got into fitness that way. Started training military personnel when I was in Bahrain. I knew I didn't want to be in the military for super long term. So when my 4 years were up, I wanted to go back to school, wanted to make something else of myself, wanted to give school a try again. I went back home and I started personal training there. I met my wife now, who is from California. She was a UCLA grad, and she came to Philly for grad school. Yeah, so and she was 5 years younger than me. You know what I mean? And she was coming for grad school, and I didn't even have a degree yet. And she's like, "Man, you're too smart not to have a degree. So, what do you want to do?" And I enjoyed working out. I enjoyed training people at the time. So I just decided to try to get back into school, and Temple didn't work. They wouldn't let me back in.
They didn't let you back in.
No, wouldn't let me back in, man. And then I tried Rutgers in Jersey too, and they wouldn't let me back in. They wouldn't let me in either. So I moved to California with my still girlfriend at the time, actually. So we moved to California, and I got into Cal State Northridge. She and I got married, engaged and married. So Northridge was my first like real spot in college basketball with strength and conditioning. And then from there I went to UCLA, and then from there Cal, and then I'm here now. So it was a long journey to get here, man. Very unconventional route.
Sure.
But it's been great though.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, and then one thing I want to ask you, I've been around the program a little bit, been around you guys a little bit. I've always noticed you always have an incredible level of excitement, joy. Yeah. So I'm curious, where does that come from? I know maybe you have to have it. It's kind of maybe a prerequisite for the job, but where does that come from for you?
I mean, it sounds cliche, man, but like I'm really happy to be here every day. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm 41 years old. I didn't really get into my career until I was 31 years old. You know what I mean? So from 18 to 30 years old, you know, I wasn't doing too much. You know what I mean? I failed at a lot of things. I tried a lot of things. You know, I went through some things with family and stuff at home and stuff like that. Sure. So, you know, once I kind of came out of that, and I mean, I get to lift weights every day and give guys sets and reps every day. I get free shoes and free clothes. Yeah. Like we fly charter flights.
A little bit of perspective.
You know what I mean? Like, so I really wake up every day happy that, you know, I get to do this, and I'm in a better position for myself, and I'm able to put my family in a good position now, and we live a good life. So I'm just blessed, man. You know what I mean? And it comes from, you know, just not having much when I was younger and just really appreciating what I have now.
Awesome. That's great. For sure. Really good message too. That's really good stuff. Okay, let's dive into talk. Let's kind of get into your line of work. So I think thing that I'm most fascinated by is, you know, these basketball players, they're not, you know, average Joes obviously on the street when it comes to fitness. Yeah. So I'm curious for you, what are your goals with them? Are you setting up goals per player? Because these are the 1%ers. So what are you trying to do with these guys? Yeah, it just depends on the guy. You know what I mean? Like everybody comes in with a different with different needs. So you try to, as much as you can, man. There's a lot of time constraints and things like that with the college basketball. But as much as you can, man, you try to individualize things for guys so they can get better at what they need to get better at. At the same time, you know, some of these guys are coming in that they don't have a lot of they don't have a high training age, so they haven't done a lot of training in their careers. Sure. So a lot of guys they need general strength. You know, they need plyometrics. They need some flexibility. Say they need mobility. You know, so you tackle those things as a group, and then you know you get into the individual work. You know, with guys when you get an opportunity to. Again, in college, there's a lot of time constrictions restrictions and time constraints. Sure. But that's what I do. My job is to get them better where they need to. So you find time to get the individual work in as well. Okay. So let's go even like deeper. So I'm curious, we can look back on a Lope legend, let's say Ray Harrison, because I look at him and I'm like, Lope legend for sure. Okay. This guy, he's got to be the strongest guard I've ever seen. It looks like he's in, you know, obviously incredible shape. I'm like, what the heck could you possibly be doing with Ray? So if you mind, maybe last summer, summers before, give us an idea of like some of the stuff you'd work on with Ray as an example. Yeah, for sure, man. First of all, I love Rayshawn, man. Like he's family to me, man. I wish him the best in his career moving forward. He's a great kid. Comes from a great family. But when he first got here, man, it's about the kid too. You know what I mean? Like Rayshawn was so eager to get better when he got here. He came from Presbyterian, where they didn't have all the resources that we have here. They didn't have a great weight room. They may have as experienced strength and conditioning coach or strength program or whatever. So when Rayshawn got here, he's already a great athlete. Like I appreciate the credit I got for Rayshawn and his transformation, but he's a great athlete, like from the jump. But he needed some more strength when he got here. He wasn't as strong as he could be. I don't think he was as explosive as he could be. The biggest thing for him was just kind of beefing him up a little bit. And I think if you look at his first year here, he went from 181 pounds, 79 pounds actually when he got here, and he played at 194 his whole first season here. Yeah. And he was a tank, man. You know what I mean? And he worked extremely hard over the summer. Him and Josh Baker, I remember him and Josh Baker that first summer. They had an amazing summer together, man. Yeah. And Rayshawn he worked hard all year, and you saw it pay off. Like I think he got a lot of and ones that first season. Points after contact. He took contact really well. Played in the post really well because he had the body. Yeah, for sure. That he would get down there. For sure, man. And that was a testament to the work that he put in. So the first thing for him was his general strength and some size to him. And I think after his first year, he played really well. I think he got MVP of the conference championship that year, conference tournament, and he went and worked out for the Brooklyn Nets. So when he worked out for the Nets told him, like,
we wouldn't mind if you went from 194 to 190. You know, in between 185 and 190 is what the Nets told him. So his second year, he wanted to lose a little bit of it and get a little quicker. So, you know, that second year, we worked on more sprinting, on more linear sprinting. We worked on more side to side, like this lateral quickness stuff, his first step. We worked on a lot of that more like his second summer. So he's a guy that, you know, after his development was there from his body standpoint, his size, his weight, after he was at a good size and weight for him, we started working more on his explosiveness, athleticism more, his quickness. So, you know, he was a really good that was a good example, you know, a question to question about, because he was a guy that
there's almost
did a lot of different
forms
things.
of Ray. He almost kind of
for
like
sure.
evolved,
You're right,
and you
man.
saw different
You're
versions
right.
of him.
Yep, you're right for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so next thing I want to ask about is kind of breaking down a game day, because obviously I know these guys aren't rolling out of bed, getting Chick-fil-A for breakfast, getting Chick-fil-A for lunch, and then, you know, roll the balls out, whatever.
Yeah.
So you mentioned kind of the individual part of it. I know the guys get here and then you work with them. What are the expectations from you for the guys when it comes to a game day, getting yourself physically ready? So that way when the ball goes in the air, you are ready to go.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it starts the night before with their sleep. So, excuse me. We try to stress, like, yo, get to bed. You know what I mean? Get to bed, man. That's going to be probably your best form of recovery. You know what I mean? You want to feel your best for the next day. You want to wake up feeling fresh. So it starts the night before with a really good night's sleep. When they wake up, we have breakfast for them at the facility when they come here.
Awesome.
So that's the first thing, man. We always want them to start their day with some food, with some fuel. So after that, it just depends. Like, some guys will just go straight to the court and just go get ready for shoot around. Some guys will come to the weight room first and get some stretching before they go to the court. After shoot around is kind of like really when my day starts with them. So we'll get guys that, you know, may not play much that night. They'll come lift after our shoot around. Guys that are going to play more that night, I'll tell them to maybe either go home and then come back earlier to get their mobility working, their stretching in, getting their CNS firing for the game and stuff like that. So they'll come in a little bit earlier and, you know, do their thing before they touch the court.
Okay, interesting. So everyone's kind of got a little bit different, obviously, depending on how much you're playing.
Minutes and stuff like that.
And also, you talked about, like with Ray, like, what are your personal goals or what are we working on? You're kind of getting those dialed in. Okay, That's interesting. So, okay, next thing I want to ask, I've got two things to end with. First, sure. I know you've spent some time, again, like you said, at different universities. So if I were to just ask you what athletes stand out, just you've been around, you've just been like, whoa, that is insane. Like, and it can be anyone. Who comes to mind right away for you?
Right now, man, it's Dennis Evans right now.
Okay, you're getting Lopes fans riled up now in the summer.
Like, man, I just
you've been working with him.
I've been working with him for the past 6 months, man, since he's gotten cleared, and just to see not just physically, but you know, just he's coming out of his shell. You know, he's 7'2", man, and I've been around a lot of different 7-footers, and they are kind of they're in the shell a lot. You know, because when they were younger, they were bigger, and people might have teased them. They might have called them giants or ogre. You know, so they have a little bit of insecurity naturally about them. But for Dennis, man, like, he's seeing his body change. He's seeing his athletic qualities change. And it's you can see now his confidence is out. You know what I mean? And that's really making me happy, because we put in a lot of work, man. But on the court, just to be 7'2" and to move like he does, and to protect the rim like he does, and to get down the floor like he does, and to score it at all three levels like he can, that's impressive to me. I was surprised. I had an athlete at UCLA, man, and he was a first-round draft pick. And his name was TJ Leaf.
Oh yeah,
like TJ. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, El Cajon. Shout out Leaf Squad. But when I saw TJ, man, like he was the first dude that I coached that was like, he was 6'10", but he could put it on the ground. He would drive past you and dunk on you. He can step out and shoot the three. He wasn't gonna blow you out the water like with super athleticism, but this dude, he was a really good athlete. He could get down the floor. He could change ends. He could guard you a little bit. So I always was impressed with TJ Leaf. And, you know, he was one, and I'm gonna try to think of somebody at Cal that I was really impressed with. There was a kid named Paris Austin, man. He was a little guard from Oakland. He started off at Boise State, and he transferred to us at Cal. Okay. But just a super athlete, man. I was always impressed by what he could do from from a point guard standpoint, at being 6 foot, right under 6 foot. He'll dunk on you. He'll get down the floor fast on you. Just a really good athlete. Stop and go. I don't maybe listening, but maybe not. But man, I wish that he had been able to finish. He was a COVID guy, so like his senior year was COVID, man, and I felt really bad for Paris because he didn't really get the looks that he deserved to be a professional, and he was a really good player and a great athlete.
Yeah, I was gonna say that those are some big compliments because you worked with. I believe I've seen you do stuff with Jaylen Brown, and then I'm trying to think, was it Rab who's the other guy who was like a top?
No, so I was at Rab. So I wasn't there with Jaylen Brown. So
okay.
The year Jay Brown was there, I think I was still at UCLA, I believe. Okay. So Brown and Rab, when I got to Cal, those guys had just left. So Jaylen Brown just got drafted, and I think Rab might have got drafted the year before. Maybe the same year, I can't remember. But I was the year right after those guys. So when I was at UCLA, it was like Lonzo Ball was an amazing player, man. TJ, Aaron Holiday, Isaac Hamilton, Bryce Alford, Tom Welsh, Jonah Bolden, the great players, man. Really, really, really good players that we went to the Sweet 16, had a really good year, my last year there. So. My time at Cal, my time at UCLA shaped my career in a lot of ways.
Sweet. And then let's end. I think that's kind of perfect. You talked about UCLA and Cal. I know you just teased a little bit of Dennis Evans, but obviously when the guys are going in the portal, you're having to kind of look at guys and looking at so much tape. So I'm curious, having looked at some tape, the guys get here, some of the new guys. Yeah. What was some stuff that pops out to you? It's like, wow, I know he was this on the tape, but this is like even more impressive of like just maybe verticality, things kind of in your world.
And I'm just super impressed with Jaden Henley. I'm just super impressed with him, man. And not anything on the physical level because his body needs to change and it's changing. Like his body is changing fast. So I think what you're going to see from him physically coming into next season is going to be even greater than anything that you've seen from him before. I'm just really impressed with his game. You know what I mean? Like the dude can hoop. You know what I mean? Like I hadn't been too familiar with him prior, but just kind of seeing him out here this summer and some of the things that he's been able to do. Being 6'6", 6'7", with the ball in his hands and being able to find people and create for himself and create for other people. His vision, I'm seeing a lot of good things from him, man. A lot of our guys, man, like I'm impressed with our guys so far. I really am. And the good thing about this team, obviously not to take away from any other team, but you can tell these dudes really like each other. You know what I mean? Like
it's hard to do in this.
It's tough, man. You get guys for 1 year, 2 years max now. Guys are all going to a school for certain reasons. They may have gotten promised different things and stuff like that. So all these dudes are getting money now and stuff. So the egos come with that. But these guys, man, they really like each other and they really encourage each other. They're there for each other. They hang out together. They live in the same apartment buildings and they dorm together, some of them. So I think, moving forward with the summer and going into next season, what you will see is, I think, a group of guys that will play for each other and are ready to win.
Heck yeah. That gets us excited in the summer. Well, hey, I know you're about to head out to a workout.
Yeah,
so
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Work the boys out good, man.
They're going to kill me if I'm not in there. They're going to tell me I'm late if I'm not in there on time.
This is exciting. So we really, really appreciate your time.
I appreciate it, man. It was great.
And good luck.
Dope.
Look forward to it.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.